Welcome to this daily guided meditation practice. This is the Attentive Mind. My name is Nathan, and I'll be guiding you through this meditation practice today. Find yourself a seated position. Any position works. Really, the goal, especially with a 20-minute meditation, we want to keep our back upright in a nice, stable, seated position. However, you can lie down if that works for you. It really helps to sit at the edge of a chair. Just find what works for you. You just don't want to shift and adjust during the practice. It might be a bit distracting. We also keep our eyes open during this practice. However, if you have learned to practice with your eyes closed, feel free to do so. But I do encourage you to keep your eyes open. And if your eyes are open, go ahead and just leave the screen alone and drop your eyes lightly downwards. Kind of just a nice light gaze to the floor, the desk, or whatever's just below you. We're not staring at a spot or analyzing, but we're also not blurry and zoned out. We have a nice light, clear gaze downwards. You're in a nice, comfortable seated position, and your eyes are open and down. Just settle in here. Relax. Just kind of allow your nervous system to calm down. And let your body just settle in to whatever position you've taken. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. Nothing to learn. And no one to become. You may have arrived here with a lot of stuff. A lot of things on your mind. But just let them go. Become empty. And just be here now. And if you're normal, you'll notice that the mind doesn't know how to be here now. It keeps thinking and talking about the future, analyzing what we're doing, trying to get somewhere. But these thoughts aren't yours. You don't create them. They happen all by themselves. So with this practice, we're learning to simply, well, maybe not learning, but we're just leaving our thoughts alone. Finally, we allow them to run on and on and on just as they want to, with no blocking. Only we don't have to give them the gift of our attention. And that's why it's useful to move our attention away from thinking into something totally and completely present. And of course, that is the breath. Notice how your attention is situated somewhere up in your forehead. Just drop this view. Drop it down to the lower belly, below the belly button and above the groin. Notice this rhythm happening here. As the breath comes in, this area expands naturally. And as the breath leaves, this area relaxes all by itself. Instead of following what the mind wants to think about, follow the breath in the lower belly. And do this with no effort, no purpose, no future at all. And I'm probably catching you in the middle of a thought. You were planning something, worried about something. But this is okay. Gently return to the breath, rising and falling. come back. Come back to the lower belly. Let your thoughts think what they want to. We don't need to turn them off. Breathing, rising and falling. What notices the breath? What directs attention to the breath? Notice how it feels as if you're sitting above your breath, looking down at it, as if it's far away. What is that? In the same way you can find the breath, can you find the finder, the looker, the experiencer of experience? Turn the attention back. What hears this voice? What sees breathing? What are thoughts talking to? Is there something there? Or is it completely empty? What do you discover? What are you? All right, you can look at the screen. When I was a bit younger, my first trip out of the United States was to the Dominican Republic. Actually, that's not true. I went to Mexico before that. But it was my first trip alone. And I didn't go to the resorts and to the the little pocket of America in Dominican. I went to Barcelona, Dominican Republic, which is a very impoverished area, very poor. And I was volunteering there, helping this children's camp thing. These people were living in what they call bates, which were basically these self-made homes made out of cardboard, made out of tin. Very, a gust of wind can blow them over. They didn't have running water. I mean, every way you can imagine, third world, that was the situation I was in. Very dangerous too. I mean, you hear gunshots all the time. I met children who died actually while I was there. And I met children whose parents were killed recently from gunfights. But what was interesting was that these people, even through all of that, were happier than most people in the United States. They had such hardship and such difficulty, yet they were complete somehow. They felt a sense of enjoyment of life, even through the struggle. And I met a lot of people there. And I was wondering, how is it that us in the States were so unhappy, complaining all the time, and I go to an impoverished third world country, and they're not complaining. They're thankful for what they have. Now, don't get me wrong, they would trade places with you or me at any time. Anyone in the States, but because they didn't have the opportunities, because they didn't have this constant striving for stuff, image, social status, money, it just wasn't available. They were empty. Not empty like no soul. Not that there is a soul. Sorry to those who believe in souls. But they didn't have this constant infringement from the outside to get stuff, that you can be happy once you get this product or that one. They were content with what they had. They were living fully. Now, I know this isn't representative of everyone there. There were a serious struggle there as well, that they weren't enjoying themselves. But for the most part, these people, the thing they liked to do, their pastime, was to sit on their porch and just watch people. That was the thing to do. And we did that for hours. To the boredom of my American friends, we just sat on the porch watching people. That was what was interesting. And I learned something very important there. And we've all heard this. Getting more isn't going to fulfill you. In fact, having less and being more content with less is what fulfills us. Contentment. So if you want to live fully, become empty and enjoy what you have now. Because there's probably, if you're an American, you live in or if you live in any kind of Western culture, there's about 2 billion people on this planet that would consider their prayers answered if they switch places with you. Yet they're not complaining like we do. So become empty and learn to be content with this moment now. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for showing up for your life. and I'll see you tomorrow.